John came to the studio and he handed us a Pearl Jam album. And he said, listen to this. We popped it in. It was like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he said, you guys are done. We were selling out shows left and right. People were like, why didn't Brunette get signed? Why didn't they Brunette with all the attendance? And the record companies were right. I wasn't ready as a writer. It was Hardline and Van Halen, 55,000 people in Detroit. So we want to bring Pearl Jam producers and pay them a lot of fucking money to work with you guys. And Neil went ballistic. Yeah, Double Eclipse, the timing. It was back when Slippery When Wet came out. I think we would have been on tour with Bon Jovi. I mean, it would have just been shit like that. I made this song called Live and Learn. And this was in Sonic 3 with Jim Carrey and Keanu Reeves. They're building a brand new record that'll be finished this November and released in April of 2026. It's a resurgence of Hardline until someone like you, Anthony, says, okay, Johnny, you can't sing anymore. You're done. You don't sound the same. I'm going to keep going as long as I can.
The hair metal guru from Warren to Crew. The hair metal guru. Never forget Charlie too.
Hey, here's an interview I've been waiting to do since I started this channel. Johnny Gioeli, one of the great voices in rock music. And check out those guns. Holy shit.
Oh, man, no. It's
Johnny
just
Gioeli's here today. He's appeared on an ungodly amount of albums. He sings with a project called Crush 40. He fronts Axel Rudi Pell's band. And yes, he is the driving force behind Hardline, a band we've talked about so many times on this channel. Johnny Gioeli, welcome to the show.
Anthony, brother, thank you, man. Thanks for having me. And that was a hell of a beautiful intro.
Hey, man.
And the talk about all that projects made me require a nap. Fuck, I'm tired. Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love. So you told me you're in the Dakotas,
Yep.
and I've never been, and I'm embarrassed to say those are probably the two states I've never. Wait a minute, I've never been to Wyoming or Montana too.
Okay. Sure.
All right, it's all good, but I want to get out of the Dakotas.
And the upper Midwest is kind of a haven for straight ahead hard rock bands.
Seriously?
Like especially like in the mid 90s, a lot of bands that were struggling out on the coast could come play Fargo and Minneapolis and things like that.
Yeah.
And even during the dark days could sell out clubs. And so anyway, yeah.
In the dark days, I love that. Even in the dark
Even in
days.
the dark days, man.
We're gonna talk about the dark days, bro. We're not gonna talk about the dark days.
Well, I hope we can get into it a little bit, but
All
I
right,
know
we will.
you've got so many kick-ass things going on, and man, I mean, trying to come up with questions for your career is pretty hard. But I want to get into the things that got going on now. But I'd like to talk a little bit about the backstory, like when did you first kind of you and your brother Joey, when did you first realize, hey, music is something that we want to do?
Okay, so first let me preface the interview by saying I don't know why I look so red. It's just the lighting in my room here. I am not burnt by my hand. I'm not burnt by the sun. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I'm a singer. I'm not a video guy. So
Okay,
anyway,
I hear you.
so the question was what prompted us to get involved in music, right? Oh, Anthony, you're going way back. Okay, so for me, my brother's 6 years older than I am, and he had his cool little high school band, and they would rehearse in the basement when we lived in Pennsylvania.
Right.
And I'm this 11-year-old kid, maybe younger. Yeah. Uh, yeah, maybe younger, maybe 9, 10, and watching them practice and just like, I want to do that. Just one of those things, by osmosis. I just wanted to, I wanted to grow along with that. So, um, it's crazy how it all really happened. The story's insane. So we had these stairs that went down into our basement, and I would sit on the steps around mid steps, right? And then the drummer sat right here. His drums were here, so I could look and watch. And I learned how to play the drums by watching from above.
Yeah.
Ba do do ba do ba ba boo boo. And he would leave, the band would leave, and then I would go play his drums. And then I put the sticks back just perfectly. Like I didn't want anybody to know I was playing his drums. I didn't want him to know.
Right.
And one day, this is true story, bro. One day they had a gig at a high school and the drummer was sick. And I told my brother, I can do it. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, I can do it. So he called the bandmates in and I played the songs.
Okay.
And he was like, no way. And I ended up being the drummer lead singer of that, of that band. They fired the poor sick drummer. He just had like a cold or some shit.
Sure.
And I took over as like, and that point I was 11 years old. Yeah, it's 11.
Is this
And
Killer Hit?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, bro, that's Killer Hit. And I
Okay.
became like the 11-year-old. No, wait, sorry. Back one more. Back. It was called Phase.
Okay.
Phaze. Killer Hit came a little bit later. And I became the drummer of Phase. And we played clubs where I had to be chaperoned by my parents and shit. And you couldn't even see me behind the drums.
Right.
I sang and Anthony, listen, I don't take any credit. The big man gave me a gift and I figured out how to play and I didn't know I could sing and it all just kind of happened.
So Phase turns into Killer Hit, and you start as a drummer and become the lead singer.
You want to know how?
I would love to know how.
So once we used to do sets. We played these clubs where we had to play like 3 sets. It was brutal.
Yeah.
And once per set, I would come out and play guitar and sing. And when I came out, it was like being released from a life prison sentence and all the screaming people and everything. And I'll never forget this. Now we're transitioning into Brunette.
Yeah.
So Phase, Killer Hit, Brunette.
Yep.
And we did a show with Poison. I don't remember where, but it was when Poison was just really starting to pop, right?
Yep.
And the girls and everything at the front. I came out, I did my one song, and they were going, and I'm like, I'm not going back to fucking jail.
Right.
I'm not going back. Yeah, I'm a
Right.
healed man now. I can be released.
Right.
And yeah, and that's when I decided I don't want to be stuck behind these fucking
Sure.
things.
Sure.
And that's how it happened. And then I
Sure.
focused just on vocals. So
No,
that's the whole backstory.
did you guys started in New York, right? What is that right?
So we actually start. So yeah, my family. We're all from New York. We're all born
Okay.
in Brooklyn, raised in Howard Beach, Queens, and then we transitioned over to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, like the Amish country,
Right.
which was a hell of a transition, bro.
Sure. I'm
From
sure.
New York
We have
to
that we have that here in North Dakota too, man. So
yeah. It was interesting, but it was a great place to be raised. I've got great friends there, did
sure.
school and stuff there. Very supportive community. And then when I was 18, um, we said, okay, everything's happening in LA, let's go. And
Okay.
with my parents' blessing and a lot of hard work from family to make it happen, we head out with a busload of guys and a lot of spam and Dinty Moore, whatever we could fit in a bay in a can, and
Right.
that's how it started.
So tell me, because you guys develop a name with Brunette. Like tell me the process. We get out there like what is the process of starting to go, hey, we're getting something here.
Yeah, we changed our name because we realized Killer Hit had nothing to sort of, had some little I don't know the word resemblance of drugs and shit like that, and we were
Sure.
so not that at all. We
Yeah.
weren't taking any killer hits
Yeah.
at all, and
Right.
it was not a heavy band like that. We wanted to be a crossover pop rock band.
Yep.
So we recognized that we had 17 feet collectively of hair. We literally did 17 feet, and we were all brunettes, and that's how Brunette, the name,
Okay.
came about. It was all about the look and shit, like, back then.
Yeah.
And we pounded the streets. We did what every LA band did, but I think we worked harder, and I think we probably played better. And it was maybe 1 or 2 shows, and then we were selling out every single show.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
what happened. But it was interesting, bro. I was the main writer of the band, and I wasn't ready.
Okay.
So although we were selling out shows left and right, people were like, why didn't Brunette get signed? Why didn't they Brunette with all the attendance? And the record companies were right. I wasn't ready as a writer. This is writing is a craft that you have to develop, and we didn't have the right songs
Sure.
that would warrant a big record deal. That came later with growth, and it did happen, and we can get to that next step. But we played to tremendous audiences. We were very well known. It was a big, you know, spectacle. I mean, we had the big lights outside whenever
Yeah.
Brunette played a show in Hollywood, and then we had this old Jimmy Buffett crew bus that we redid ourselves, and it was just like 12 guys, 14 guys sleeping in a bus. And imagine what that bathroom looked like in the
Ah,
morning. It
I
was
can
bad.
relate.
Oh, it was bad. And no money, and just like, let's go to Texas and play this club for a week. Let's go to Arizona. Let's play a club here for a week. And that's what we did.
I've
That's what we
started doing some stuff with FNA Records, and I think they are selling your guys' demo.
Yeah, they're a great little record company, and they came to me years ago, and we still do business together.
Sure.
I didn't never wanted to release those demos because I just think they suck. But there's history. There's
Yes.
something, there's history there,
Yep.
and that's the time period where I had to make a leap
Yep.
and growth from, in writing. And so they're like, Johnny, please, it's history. I'm like, you know what? You're not wrong. Let's put it out there. I'm not ashamed of any of that stuff. It's just some of it's a little weird,
Sure. So
stylistically.
when do you decide that you know what it's not going to happen with Brunette, and I think your next project is going to be something called Brothers with you, and so when do you decide that Brunette it's not going to happen here?
Yeah, so that was probably 89, 90 at this point, and we were tired, man. We were like a bunch of business owners that just were tired of each other, and we weren't making any more progress, and it just wasn't happening, and guys were starting to lose faith in the band, and you know it's hard to be broke a long time, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And so I understand everyone's frustration, and some members wanted to move on and stuff like that, and my brother and I were just so tired of the band thing. Oh God.
Right.
And just like so many bands.
Yeah.
And that's when we said, let's take control of our own shit here. Let's take control of our lives. Let's do a rock record called Brothers, because Nelson Twins, who these guys are friends of mine,
Yep.
they obviously a really successful record, and we thought, let's do a rock version. We're brothers.
Yeah.
This is kind of cool. This is kind of cool trend, and we can be like these heavy rock dudes with the hair, and we're brothers, and it's cool. So Brothers was born,
Yep.
and my sister at the time was dating or maybe married to Neil Sean from Journey. You're
Yep.
sure? And we never asked anything of Neil by way of help. We just never say, "Hey, bro, will you help us?" We're not that kind of person. We're just not into that.
Yeah.
We want to earn everything and work hard. We were celebrating Christmas, I think it was, in Pennsylvania. We would all fly back there from LA and just take a little break from our lives in California. And my brother and I were in the kitchen playing some new songs on acoustic that I was working on. One I remember was Face the Night, which is probably on one of those Brunette demos.
Yeah.
Neil comes running in, goes, "Give me the guitar. Let me see the guitar." And let me see the guitar. And his chords, he's like, "No, try this, man. Try this. Try that." And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Really, he's a brilliant guitar player. And it just took the song to a different level. And I said, Neil, are you interested in producing? We're going to create this record, and then we're going to sell this record to a record company. But we want to build the record first. We don't want to shop this. Hey, listen to our demo. Let's build the record, right? And he goes, well, I'm really busy with Bad English. Just came off of the big number 1 hit, When I See You Smile, and they're working on album number 2. So I'm in the studio all day. But if you work at my house, write. When I come home from the studio, let's look at what you're doing and see how we can improve it. Blah blah blah. Long story short, bro, because I know we don't have all
Yep.
night.
Yep.
Um, he fell in love with the music. We
Yep.
wrote some amazing songs together. And then he asked if he could let's form a band. And I said, no. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm Neil Sean.
Yeah.
No, no, we have a different vision. I was so burnt out, Anthony, on the whole band thing. I'm like, oh fuck, a band again?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
So we thought long and hard. We figured out, what, let's look at this again. We regained our confidence in band members and partners in music, and we said, okay, let's make this a band. Let's make it powerful, the most powerful thing that's hit the stage in a long time.
Sure.
And Neil said, I've got Dean Castronova. He's with me. He stays with me, and he still has to this day. And then we searched for a bass player. We we interviewed and played with hundreds of bass players. What some big names I won't even mention their name, and just couldn't find the right guy. And then one day, uh, Dean said, "Todd Jensen's out on the road with David Lee Roth. He's going to fit. He's going to fit personality wise. He's a great player. He's simple yet powerful and consistent and a great human." We played one song. We're like, That's our guy." And
Right.
that's how Hardline was born, and the rest is history. I got to go. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, bro. Yeah, so that's Hardline, and
Okay.
then it went
Okay.
from
You guys and you get a massive record deal with MCA
yeah.
and Neil produces it. And I was talking to a buddy of mine and he's like, dude, you got to ask him how they came about the decision to cover Hot Cherie by Street Heart. So anyway, there's that question for you.
Okay, so that question's easily answered. So it had nothing to do with the Hardline guys. It had nothing to do with Neil Sean. It had to do with Dana Strum from Slaughter. Back in the Brunette days, Dana brought us this song. Said, "You guys should cover this song. Let's work on it together." And he helped us with this. He revamped this song. He said this was a huge Danny Spanos, huge hit song, but for some reason, it doesn't have a lot of historical remembrance. People just like it was big and then boom. And it deserves so much more attention. So we covered it in Brunette. It was one of our biggest songs.
Yeah,
And that was also, Anthony, the turning point for me to say, oh, I'm not a good writer yet because this song is a great song and
sure.
my songs suck. I'm not there yet. And I knew it. So Neil heard it and Neil didn't know that it wasn't. He thought it was my song and said, this song's got to go on the album. I'm like, well, we didn't write it. He's like, what? Because we revamped. I said, no, we didn't write this song. And I played him the Danny Spanos track and blah, 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 stuff like that.
Sure.
And he said, well, we can bring it up even another level. Let's do it.
Sure.
And so we got the rights to do it and then went from there. So
How,
that's how that song happened.
how did the songwriting work for the Double Eclipse album? I mean, I know you were, but like, was Neil involved heavily in the song, or can you kind of clarify
So,
that?
yeah, so it was myself, my brother Joe, and Neil. We were the writers of those songs.
Sure.
And as I mentioned earlier, I would work all day, and I mean all day, in the studio, which was just like a little 8 track on cassette thing and a bunch of guitar pedals and sounds. And then Neil would come home, and this guy's a workaholic, man, when it comes to music. Workaholic.
Yeah.
And he would come home from that studio, and then we would work as long as we needed to. And I'd say, okay, I wrote this today. And he'd be like, man, I love that. Okay, let's build this, that. And that's how we worked. And then my
Sure.
brother and I worked on lyrics together and demoing. Joey and I did all the demoing stuff. My poor girlfriend at the time, uh, she was working, she was the breadwinner, and she would come home from a long day of work, and we'd have couches up on end with microphones, and we'd turn the whole apartment into a studio, and we're cutting demos.
Yeah.
And Neil would participate in that. Even Neil being Neil Sean, didn't care about the foo-foo studio and stuff. If we made something sound good because I was singing into a couch, good enough. I'll never forget when we were making a demo, we had little paper clips and be like, Neil, at this part of the song, push this fader up to the paper clip, and then you push this with like 6 hands doing. Bro, that's how we made the Double Eclipse demo,
Sure.
which then we had a match. There's some elements in the demo that are, I think, better than the record.
Really?
Yeah,
Could that stuff ever see the light of day?
it could. It's
Okay.
a good idea.
Because
Good
I
idea.
just well, I just bought this now because this got
Oh,
re-released on vinyl.
hell
So
yeah.
anyway, okay, and I want to, but So Double Eclipse comes out in April of 1992, and I talked to a ton of people that like this style of music. And if there is one album that everyone says was all killer, should have destroyed the charts, it's Double
Yep.
Eclipse. But about 6 months before it came out, a song like called "Smells Like Teen Spirit" debuts on MTV. I just would like to know, like your view and in the writing and getting that record ready. Were you was there a sense of, oh shit, this is going on?
So I'll give you a story. This is an interesting, wild story. I still think about it today. I'm maybe you've heard the name John Kalodner,
Yeah.
yeah, one of the most powerful industry people, right? Signed so many massive bands, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
John came to the studio and he handed us a Pearl Jam album. And he said, listen to this. So we popped it in. It was like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he said, you guys are done. We're like, what? He goes, this is in front of Neil and everything. You're done. MTV's done. You're not going to see any more videos. We're like, what do you mean not going to see any more videos? It's fucking MTV. No, it's over. It's done. You guys are done. And, John was considering signing us, but he knew he had such an insight to the industry, what was happening. And so it always like stuck here, just like, is what? Why would someone say that? But we were such believers in our music and our band that we just trunched. I mean, we grinded it out. But I remember that I can picture that in the studio, and no one wanted to believe it,
Yeah.
and we were not alone
Yeah.
in that disbelief. And yeah, it changed the course of everything
Sure.
instantly. And yeah, Double Eclipse, the timing, it was back when Slippery When Wet came out. I think we would have been on tour with Bon Jovi. I mean, it would have just been shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it would have been great. But listen, I time period or no time period, it's a great album. I'm proud of it. That was my life's work, man. So everything that I worked to grow as a writer and to grow as a singer, there I am. I'm singing, and there's this guy, very famous guy, Neil Sean, who thinks I'm worthy of being a rock star, and it was just all very surreal.
Sure.
But yeah,
So
that shit happened. That shit happened.
so you did go out with Van Halen for a while, but I'm sure, looking at the charts, you're starting to like when do you guys go, okay, it's not gonna happen, and you decide that Hardline is no more.
We never thought it wasn't going to happen. Our very first show, and for me as an international artist, was at the Palace of Auburn Hills supporting Van Halen. As you mentioned, it was Hardline and Van Halen, 55,000 people in Detroit. And there I was, this young kid in his 20s, and I'm playing for this audience, and talk about surreal.
Right.
And we never, at that moment, Anthony, we never thought for a second that it was going to end.
Right.
Never, never was never a thought.
Sure.
Um, our album sales were good. We were selling hundreds and hundreds of thousands of records. Um, but the support mechanisms were fading
Okay.
and fast, bro.
Okay.
Radio's gone, MTV is gone, magazines are gone, and we're like, whoa. And it was not being replaced by anything that would support us.
Right.
Anything that was new was not supporting our music. And
Sure.
that's when we went, do, 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 do. That's when we knew, okay, pull the plug. Um, and the record company, we went with MCA, just so you know,
Yeah.
because a lot of the Columbia Sony people from the Journey days moved over. It was really not known as a great record company at that point, but we had great faith in them because it was really the core um, was Sony guys
Sure.
and people that Herbie Herbert worked with and Neil worked with. So we had a lot of confidence there, and that's what we went with because there was like a bidding war for us. We
Yeah.
had Interscope Records. We had a lot of people that wanted this band, um, and they came to us after Double Eclipse and said, "Okay, we want to go forward with the next record." but we're gonna have to change some shit, obviously. And we believe that you guys can conform. You don't have to be anything that you're not. But we want to bring Pearl Jam producers and pay them a lot of fucking money to work with you guys. And Neil went ballistic. He
Okay.
said no. He went ballistic. No, I'm producing the band. And it was at that moment I said, I leaned over to our day-to-day manager, Bill Thompson, who passed away. It was Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship. These guys, this guy said, no, 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 you're fine, you're fine. I said, no, we're gone. Next day, I got the call, we're off the label, we're done.
Okay. Okay.
So Neil wasn't really willing to be flexible. And, I'm not saying it was a bad thing at the time, bro, because I'm a young kid and like,
Sure.
now what?
Sure.
Now what?
Of course.
But staying true to your music style, I respect that we didn't try to be something or even flex into something that we really weren't.
Sure.
So I respect that about that meeting. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah,
So after that, I know, and I've listened to a bunch of your interviews. You're like, I got to take some. I mean, this is everything you work for,
yeah,
and so you took some time. You did some business projects,
yeah.
and in 1998, though, Axel Rudi Pell, or maybe it was before that, but comes calling, and
Yeah.
you end up on the Oceans of Time album, and you guys have put out fucking albums every 2 years since '98.
Yeah. So now I'm collectively working towards 106. I had to actually go on a wiki and count the albums, but dude,
Right,
this shit, and I couldn't believe it myself. I
right,
know there's 104 with all my different projects that I'm part of these albums.
sure.
But yeah,
How did
26
that?
years, which is mind blowing. 26 years as the singer for Axel. 26 years with my gaming music with Crush 40. Unreal. And 30 plus with Hardline. Still going.
How,
Same for.
how, how did that Axel Rudy Pell situation come about? 'Cause
Uh,
you were out of the scene, right?
yeah, I was out of the scene. And I got the call because Jeff Scott Soda was singing with
Mhm.
Axel, did a record or two. I don't remember how many records. And I believe Jeff called me or gave Axel my information, said Jeff was the singer and he's not going to be in the band anymore and blah blah blah. I really love your voice. I'm a huge Hardline fan. That's how it happened for Crush 40 and the Sonic Sega stuff. One of the production people there is a huge Hardline fan out of Japan. And we emailed. Yeah, we had email then. I just had to think. It was limited, but we had email.
Right.
I didn't speak one word with Axel. First time I even heard his voice is when I got off the train and we went directly to the studio. For me, it was like, I'm gonna do this. It's cool. I'll go to Germany. The guy's really nice, and I can sing the shit out of this stuff because this is
Yeah.
like this is old school, Black Sabbath, Dio. I can sing this shit in my sleep.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, and I never knew that this was going to be so massive. I mean, massive. And yeah, that's how that happened. It was just like, this guy connected. And it was, I believe, Doug Aldridge, I believe, who connected the writer in Japan for Sega with me. I believe it was Doug because they did something to. Anyway, it's crazy. Like that.
Sure. So and we can get so that's Crush 40 and I'll be honest, I don't know because I know about it now from watching all these interviews, but it's a project that I think you're going to write songs for video games. You end up calling it Crush 40 and now it's been going on for many years. Can you just briefly talk about that project?
Yeah, so I was asked to sing on a bunch of songs that were going to be used for a NASCAR arcade game, the physical game, and where you go into the mall and you play the game.
Yeah.
And I did that, and it was very successful, and I liked it. They were not my songs. I just sang them, and it was fun, and I really got along with the head writer, Jun Sonoi from
Yep.
Japan. And then next I get a call, hey, we're interested in having are you interested in writing songs for games?
Mhm.
I said, well, what do you mean? Like, what? I don't understand. What's the last game I played was like Frogger and Pong. Bing. Really? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, we build these games and blah blah blah, and we'd like you to write songs, like a soundtrack to a movie, and that's the way I thought about it. I'm not a gamer. I've never played one of my games ever.
Right.
People they make fun of me because I didn't want to be partial to any character. I used to have my daughter read what the scene was about, and then I'd go into the studio and okay, and I made this song called "Live and Learn." This was in Sonic 3 with Jim Carrey and Keanu Reeves. It's one of the biggest gaming songs in history.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. No, you're good.
Total distance.
Forgot to turn on I took my dog's right here,
Oh, that is so great,
and I
baby.
just took her for a walk before
No,
class.
no, you're all good. You're all good. That is so
Nine.
fun. This is real life. I,
Shit.
I, I used to do these interviews and my dogs would start barking. And I tell the journalists, listen, anything can happen. The doorbell can ring,
Right.
someone could shoot the glass out. I don't know what's going to happen here. But yeah,
Sorry
anyway,
about
all
that.
the puppies, beautiful,
Oh, she's amazing.
beautiful golden. Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, so then I was asked to write,
Yep.
and that's when things just boom, just went.
Yeah.
And the first song that I wrote was for the most popular game ever, Sonic Adventure 2. And I wrote the song Live and Learn. The rest is history. The song has hundreds and hundreds of millions of views, millions upon millions of fans. I was just in the business lounge in, where was I? Montreal, Canada, and I saw a young person come in, had a little character on his backpack, and next thing it was like, "You're Johnny Gioeli from Crush 40." Anyone who's into gaming, I
Yeah.
don't care what corner of the earth you are on, you
Yeah.
know Crush 40 and you know the music, and I am so freaking grateful for that.
Oh
This is
shit.
it's the great Anthony, the greatest community of kids, and the description of kids for me is anyone under the age of 57 is a kid.
Yeah.
Amazing people. I'm leaving for an event Thursday. I'm going to Reno to do an event. I love being with these again kids. I love performing these songs. They can sing every word. I don't even have to sing if I don't want to. Of course, I want to.
Yeah.
I hold that microphone out. As these kids, the history and what these songs mean to everyone is just as strong today as it was in '98. It's insane.
The amount of views that you've gotten on like Crush 40 and even like Axel Rudi Pell. I mean, I'm looking through the YouTube.
Millions, yeah.
Your version of Hallelujah has 18 million views
Yeah,
on YouTube. It's
yeah.
staggering. And
Yeah, and if you look up like my friends, the Chalk Eaters out of Russia, I did a song with them called "Crushing Thirties." It's a spoof on Sonic being like an old man now.
sure.
There's probably 20, 30 million. It just goes. It's a very, very massive community
Right.
gamers. I play Santiago, Chile. I'm getting ready to go to Chile in a few weeks. I believe that show is probably sold out or nearly sold out. And we go to events that have 30,000 people.
Right.
It's
Amazing.
awesome. It's
In
awesome.
in 2002, you did reform Hardline. And I know Frontiers Records. Could you just kind of like and what made you feel like, you know what? Okay, I'm ready to wake the baby up.
That was extreme pressure. I think I was ready. I had that hiatus. I did some great business with my brother. We had learned a lot about business and stuff like that, how to feed the family.
Yeah.
Um, and it was Frontier's persistence and like your voice needs to be heard. Your voice needs to be heard. Even though I still uh, would say they're not the greatest record company in the world. They certainly had the insight to, resurface and rebuild Hardline again. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that because I mean he was really persistent. The owner, Serafino, persistent. Come on, Johnny. Come on, Johnny. Come on, Johnny. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I caved, and I'm glad, and I'm very grateful to for that opportunity to bring it back. And
And
that's what happened.
you put out 6 albums since 2002. Your last one was Heart, Mind, and Soul.
Oh, a good
What's
album. I love that album.
Oh, it's fantastic, and I've been listening, and I have all that stuff. What is, and I know you're playing some shows with Hardline. I know you do some festival dates. What
Yeah.
is the current plan for Hardline going forward?
Oh, it's great, man. It's like a resurgence, a rebirth. Um, Hardline is now with SPV Steamhammer, which I've always wanted to be with these guys, and the timing just wasn't right. That's Axel's label, and I've known them all for 26 years. I have a lot of belief in their work, and I've seen it
Right.
with Axel. We are building a brand new record that'll be finished this November and released in April of 2026. We already have, and it'll be released soon, a whole scheduled tour, 17, 18, 19 dates around Europe, summer festivals, a fall tour. It's a resurgence of Hardline. We just finished Sweden Rock. I'm so proud of all the musicians in this band. We had such an amazing show in Sweden Rock. We played big festivals. We're going to make music and continue until someone like you, Anthony, says, okay, Johnny, you can't sing anymore. You're done. You don't sound the same. I'm going to keep going as long as I can, as long as I'm healthy. So as long as I sound the same,
Yeah.
so Hardline is, we have a great brand new agent, and we want to work. We
Right.
have a UK tour coming. I forgot about that. We have a UK tour this November. I don't know, 15, 16 shows around the UK that I'm excited about. Yeah, we're just like it's like someone put oxygen on our faces and we're like, okay, breathe, let's go. We got
And
more.
I realize the musical climate is so much different in the States. Most of what you do is going to be overseas. I just talked to Danny Vaughn from Taiketo. He's
I love Danny. Danny's a good dude.
lives over in Spain. He's like, for a musician.
Yep.
So, has there ever been any, and I can probably guess the answer, but any talk of trying to do anything over in America?
So yeah, yeah, yes. Actually, maybe you don't know the answer. We have tried. My fear, and maybe call it anxiety. I'm it's like this, if you know you're in Vegas and you're gonna flip the face card and you're gonna get 21, like why would you want to gamble anything else?
Yep.
And it's sad. I know it's probably not the right thing to do, but my fear of putting maybe 20 people in Starbucks, I have that fear. I don't know what would happen in America. And
Right.
I'm not a guy, I'm not the type personality. Um, and this is not ego driven at all because if you know me and people know me, I'm as humble as this wooden table. But I'm not one to go backwards.
Sure.
And fear and like why would I? I know where the audience is, and I play for the audience. That's the mass.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of projects. I'm very busy. I'm always in the studio. I'm always traveling, so I don't have time to take a chance.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. But
Completely.
we get offers all the time, and now it's very difficult. I'm going to be brutally honest. It's fucking difficult to bring my Italian guys here. It's
Sure.
not easy to come here,
Sure.
especially now. Not fucking easy to come here.
Sure. Um, in 2018, you put out a solo album, One Voice, and what was the thinking behind that, and why was it a solo album versus just another Hardline album?
Yeah, so I've always wanted to um do a solo album for a specific reason. I'm not a solo guy. I always love being with a band.
Yeah.
It's actually not a great story. Young kid in my town dives headfirst our sea, hits his head, becomes paralyzed. Really, just the most shocking thing ever. And instead of a lot of people came to his aid in support financially and everything, it's not cheap
Yeah.
to live your life in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I said I have to do something, and I did what I thought was the best contribution. That is to make an album and let the proceeds drive his future health. And he's doing great, by the way.
Sure. Awesome.
He graduated college. He was part of Anderson Cooper show. He's just doing great. But that shit takes money.
Yeah.
Um, so that was the driving force behind
Okay.
One Voice. We are one voice together, and that's the whole hook of that album, and it did very well to help Joe. So
Fantastic.
yeah.
Um, speaking of, well, maybe not speaking of, but what is your brother was on the Two album, is that correct? And what is he doing now? And what made him decide, you know what, I'm done with the music thing?
Yeah, Joe participated in the Hardline 2 album a little bit, but he was running our company. We
Sure.
built an internet company, and he was running that and just was just entrenched in business. And I did for a little bit, and then I wanted to get back to my music roots, and he stayed and just kept going with his direction of business, and he just sold the company, and he's basically retired now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what he's
Fan-
doing.
Fantastic.
California boy, yeah, California boy. He and his wife, and just partying up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to bring this up because I did a lot of research to get ready for this interview, and you mentioned the song "Live and Learn," and everything that I look up says that there's a lawsuit involved with that song with Sega of America, and I'll just stop right there, and I'll let you say whatever you want to say about it.
Yeah, I can't talk too much about it because it's going to trial next, and it's an ongoing thing. So I can't give you any specifics
Sure.
um, other than there is a dispute, and I was hired as a lyricist.
Okay.
Sega does not own the performance; it does not own my song,
Okay.
and I found out because I'm not a gamer. I One day I had a fan who became a very close friend of mine. I've watched a lot of these kids become doctors and lawyers. They grew up. I mean, think about it. This is 26 years.
Yeah.
Right? And this young man said to me, "You realize that your song is on some of the biggest games in history, like Nintendo Smash Brothers grossed over $3 billion." And I'm like, wait, what? My song's where?
Yeah.
And I think you could probably piece together the rest of the story. Um, they came to me with contracts on other games, and then somehow, it's public knowledge.
Yeah.
You can read about it, so I'm not
Sure.
saying anything is not public, but somehow about 24 assets slipped through the cracks.
Okay.
And listen, as musicians, we just want to be compensated for our work.
Totally.
I'm not looking to gouge anyone. I just want to be compensated for my work.
Totally.
But you can't make $3 billion and use my song.
Yep. I
That's it.
completely get it.
That's all I can say, bro. So hopefully, I came in peace
Yeah.
with them, and I hope we can part in peace, and just I hope everyone just does the right thing,
Sure.
and that's it. And I love everyone at Sega, a long relationship. But we just need to do the right thing, and hopefully it'll wind up soon and be finished. But yeah.
Sure. I think I actually saw the interview that you did with this kid, and I saw him mention, and you were like, "Wow, that's really it's." And so anyway,
Oh man, that is like, again, it's everyone knows
yeah,
I'm not a gamer.
yeah,
I've never played any
totally.
of my own games
No,
that I'm in. I have no reason to. I'm a songwriter, and I take my songwriting serious, bro.
yeah,
And I'm not a gamer. And
yeah,
people are like, "Oh, that scene in this thing in there. Oh, you're on such and such. Oh, your song is there." I'm like, "What? My song's where? I don't know.
sure.
I
Yeah,
don't know."
I'd be the same way. Fuck, I don't know anything about that stuff.
Yeah. And so I was shocked to learn the list of like, what is that game?
Yeah,
What? So anyway, hopefully
Sure.
everything will work out.
Sure. So you've got some shows with Crush 40. We
Yes.
talked about a new album coming up with Hardline. What is going on with Axel, Rudi, Pell? Do you guys have plans for? I'm assuming you do.
Oh, hell yeah. So we in September we have one makeup show in Istanbul in Turkey that got canceled. And we have a bunch of shows in September, and then we go directly into the studio. I have I'm building the Hardline album and I'm recording the Axel Rudy Pell album. And then I just heard from Axel and he's like, guys, can you reserve August of 2026 on this particular weekend for this particular festival? We're gonna work.
Okay.
We're already building more tours, building a new record. We just keep working. We love it.
Sure.
And people keep coming. When they stop coming, we'll stop.
Sure.
But they keep coming.
I think we were talking about you just mentioned your voice. You guys were so smart because you never tried to do that super high shit that was
Oh,
gonna, like you have this gritty, powerful, emotional voice, but you can age into that. But Don Dawkin trying to do that shit is practically impossible. I mean, and I don't blame Don Dawkin.
yeah, it's hard. Yeah,
Anyway,
I mean, we're young, we're young. There's a lot of shit we can do when we're young,
yeah,
and
uh,
and there's a lot of shit we can't do when we're old. My voice, I'm gonna knock on wood because I try to maintain a fairly healthy
yeah,
lifestyle. I've never been into all the bad shit.
yeah,
I just it wasn't me. Just not
yeah,
into that. I just wanted to be eh, healthy and aware and in control. That's just my personality.
yeah,
I think it's aided a lot in the success of keeping the voice in shape. But you know what? I'm fearful all the time, Anthony. Anything I've known the greatest singers, and sometimes boom, a hemorrhage, and they're done.
yeah,
So I just focus on staying healthy, singing the best I can. And I always say this in every interview. It's really freaking true. When Anthony tells me, "Ooh, Johnny, you don't sound the same as you did," that's when I go fishing full time.
I
That's
hear
when I'm done. Because I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that 80-year-old guy, that 70-year-old guy on stage that doesn't sound the same, and people are buying tickets just to come. I'm not that much to look at, so it's like, what are you going to come to see? Just money from Hardline, big fucking deal. Look at a picture online. I
Right.
want to be able to sing and perform for people, so that's my take on that.
Well, you've aged remarkably well. You look like you're in fantastic shape, so it looks like the future is bright. Have you ever like even maybe when you reformed Hardline, and we're wrapping up here, and I really appreciate the time.
Oh yeah, man, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Even when you reformed, has there ever been any conversations with Neil
Yes, sir.
about Hardline, and maybe when you reformed it, did you talk to him?
Yeah, we've always discussed bringing the original band back for just a number of shows, maybe 10 to 20 exclusive shows, exclusive
Yeah.
festivals.
Yeah.
That talk happens a lot, and I hope that it would happen, but they're so busy with your t-shirt.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, exactly. And God bless them, man. They're
Yeah.
killing it.
Oh yeah.
And they're having a great time. And maybe when they're tired of that and they want to do, and we talk about it, it's never a no.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, when the timing's right, maybe we'll do that. So and that's cool. And three-fifths of Journey line is Hardline.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Todd and Neil.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Well,
And you did mention that there were is there any unreleased material, and is there any chance that we could ever see some stuff like that?
yeah, we have a couple songs in the vault that we didn't release. Um and we'll see.
Okay.
Right
Sure.
now it's locked up. It's locked
Yep.
up pretty tight because yeah, first of all, it's part of MCA and um yeah, it's in a very safe place.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? They had a fire in the vault. And we're talking about thousands of bands' tapes in the vault,
Right.
and so many people lost all their tapes, and hardline tapes are survived the fire,
Wow.
still there.
That's crazy.
Like, oh my God. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, there's I think there's like two songs, maybe
Sure.
three that were just
Sure.
not just didn't like we were like, let's just hold those for the future.
Sure. Well, I know hardcore
One of them was
fans.
yeah, one of them was Face the Night. I remember that. I
Yeah.
won't let you face the night alone, which I redid on Hardline 2.
Yes. That's right.
So that one is done by the original members, and
Sure.
it just still wasn't quite enough for the Double Eclipse record.
Sure. Sure. Okay, so we talked about Crush 40. We talked about what's going on with Axel Rudy Pell. We know what's going on with Hardline. What am I missing? Is there anything else that, because man, I mean, you got a lot of irons in the fire. So,
So um, you covered you actually did the span, man, of my life. I'm actually exhausted. I'm gonna go take a nap after I did all that shit, man. Did I do all that shit?
all
Yeah.
right.
So I still do a lot of collabs. I'm into that now. I love collaborating with artists.
Yeah.
That's the one beautiful thing about this box, right?
Yeah.
We are now connected
Yeah.
every freaking corner of this earth.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talent out there. Anthony, there's a lot of talent out there that never gets heard. I would be living in fear if I was a new artist today trying to navigate through this thing.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, before it was like, okay, you had, oh, LA's popping with the bands, right? And then it's, oh, Nashville. And then this is like, oh, the whole fucking world.
Yeah.
I mean, like we had to compete with LA bands. You know,
Yeah.
we had to make sure we sold more than Tough and more than this band. And
Right.
now, oh, we got to, I don't know how these kids do it
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I'm doing a lot of collabs. I do a lot of writing for other games and just for people who want to work with me. And I get offers every single week, every single day. And my mantra is if I can't bring value to the song, I won't do it.
Sure.
I don't know how much money. It's not about that for me. I
Sure.
want to use my voice to bring a song to another level. And I love it. I communicate and work with these again, kids. Um, and it's a lot of fun. I look forward to checking my inbox to see if there's like a song someone wants me to sing on.
Sure. Speaking of collabs, like after Hardline, were there ever any offers from name bands? Maybe you can't say, but I
No, I mean,
think
no,
people would have been
it's
interested.
fun. I did an interview earlier today, and it was the same question. I've never had this question before, and I had it twice today.
Wow.
And the truth is, I'm so focused in my three projects, my Hardline, my Axel, my Crush,
Yeah.
that I think people don't ask me. I
Sure.
was asked when Steve Lee from Got Hard, God rest his soul, was his life was taken. Um, they called me.
Okay.
You're the only guy that can replace Steve Lee and Got Hard. Please join the band. And I said, no,
Yeah.
not for
Sure.
me. I
Sure.
don't think I'm the right guy. And I love Nick. Nick is awesome with Got Hard. And I think he does a much better job than I would do with Got Hard. And so, yeah, but no, yeah,
Okay.
even Kiss called me or you know, like that. And I think they know that the answer would 99% be no, I'm not interested in that. It's
Sure.
not about the money for me. And I mean, I played 80,000 seaters, 100,000 seaters. It's not like, oh, wow, if I'm with that band, I'll be able to play to a lot of people. I play to a lot of people
Yeah.
and we do very, very well. You know what I
Sure.
mean? It's not about that. I think they just know that I love my three projects and they all cross-pollinate, bro. How did that happen? Crush 40 fans buy Hardline. They
Sure.
show Axel Rudy Pell. They got Sonic shirts on. They're Axel Rudy Pell shirts
Yeah.
where people like have their demons in their freaking skulls and it's great.
Right.
I'm a blessed guy.
Amazing. Where if people want to keep up with what's going on, I know you have an Instagram, I know you have an X. Where should
All
I
that
send
shit.
people? Okay.
Yeah, so I am not a social media guy.
Sure.
Um, although I do check my Instagram messages because I
Yeah.
know how. All the
Yeah.
rest of the shit, guys, I don't know how.
Yeah.
So if you need me, I'm easy to find.
Sure.
You know, you just Google me and you can get to any one of the platforms I'm on with Facebook, Instagram, X, blah 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 blah. And I do try. my hardest to read every message and try to respond
Yeah.
as many as I possibly can. There's a Crush 40 Discord, which is really cool. And I will go on, like I was when I was stuck in the airport in Montreal, I go on to the Discord. Hey guys, how you doing today? Johnny, blah, blah, and we
Yeah.
talk, we laugh, we have a lot of fun. I try to do the best I can, knowing that all of you, Anthony, you included, gave me my life. I'm really appreciative and grateful to everyone. So I stay engaged with everyone as much as I can.
Fantastic, man. You have a great story. You have such energy. You look like you don't age. I'm so excited to see what you continue to do. So, Johnny Gioeli, I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Got it, brother. Anthony, thanks for having me, man. We'll do part two in the near future.
Anytime you got something coming out, you want to come on, you just let me know.
Thank you, brother. Be
All right.
well, be safe, take care of yourself, and take care of the puppy.
All right. All right. You take care, brother.
You too. See you, bro.